Hello, Kay Breton. This is not your charming host, Rebecca. This is the person who's causing all the technical difficulties. But no matter what, you're going to get your interview with BJ Holland, who's here with us today. Hello, BJ.
Hello, how are you?
I'm not fond of computers, but otherwise I'm really, really great, and I'm really excited because I was excited to hear your interview. So it'll be even more fun talking to you myself.
Well, let's do this.
So yeah, I don't know. So why don't you tell us a bit about yourself then?
Well, I was born and raised in North Sydney. I had a good childhood, came from a good home, got started into drugs pretty young. And basically I upgraded myself to a bigger city for bigger and badder things and ruined my life, basically.
In a nutshell, eh?
In a nutshell,
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, and that's pretty much like what you talk about for the most part on YouTube, right? Is your experiences and stuff, but also a lot about your recovery and all the
my journey. I don't want anybody to take the road I took, because it took me almost 40 years, to learn better. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know what was good and what was bad until I was almost dead.
Right.
Right.
Well, it's better late than never, as they say, right?
Yeah. I did it, and I'm still doing it, so that's the main thing, right?
That is, and that's honestly pretty amazing. So I don't even know you, and I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you very much. I hope everybody's proud of me, because I'm fighting a battle that I find the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life.
For sure, yeah. Addiction is definitely a monster.
Oh my God, it's a demon. It's in your head 24/7, right?
Yeah. Well,
but like I said, I had a good childhood. I grew up in a good family. I played hockey, baseball, went camping, went all down through the States with my parents and my sisters. I got amazing sisters. I got amazing cousins, amazing family. My family had nothing to do with my addiction. My addiction was all brought on by myself.
Right.
Right. So I have nobody to blame but myself.
For sure. But then you also, you also have no one to thank but yourself for coming through all that and being the strong guy.
I have a lot of people to thank,
okay.
Even though they weren't physically, emotionally there, the things that I've heard and people say and do about me just made me change. Like my mother was a big part of my sobriety, because she basically said goodbye to me because I was hurting the family so much. Right. And she couldn't put up with it. My mother's getting up there. I can't be stressing her out. So I had to make a change, and I signed myself into rehab. I asked the boys if I could stop doing what I'm doing, because I'm 40 years old. I'm getting sick of it. I've been shot 4 times. My life was ready. I was ready to die.
Yeah.
It wasn't a life that I wanted to live anymore. I was sick of it.
For sure. Well, but and you did, and that's so great. But do you want to tell us a bit more about the being shot 4 times? You've had quite an interesting life, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, well, it was just all territorial things. You know what I mean? Like, I was pushing people off from my neighborhood, and they were trying to creep into my neighborhood, and they were firing at me, and I was firing at them.
Right.
It's a game that I didn't want to play. You know what I mean? Like, after a while, you kind of get sick of looking over your shoulder. Right?
Yeah,
when you have groups of people out that want your spot, and nobody was taking my spot because I was dedicated to it. Right? But I had to get away from it because I would have died. There was no getting out of the life I had up there without dying or going to jail for a life sentence.
Right. And instead you took an entirely different path, and you got yourself better.
Yeah, I went into 3 detoxes. I did I actually did a 5-day detox program before I could get into a detox. And then I took an 18-day program with Harbor Light in Port Colborne, and then I did 8 months with what was it called? Brampton Health and Mental Addictions Clinic.
Right. Okay. So big city places too, eh? Like.
Oh, massive. You know, I'm mixed in with 3-4 million people, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like I don't even know how to say how bad I ruined my life, because I did. You know, like it was just, I was making a mess out of it. You know, it's because I was so into it on drugs, right?
Well, and how young were you again? You were 14, right? When you started getting into rather heavier stuff.
Yeah. And then I just got into pills. I did every pill out there. You know, I did all the nerve pills. I did every kind of painkiller. And then, you know, my town wasn't big enough for me anymore. I had to move because I had the taste of the life, and I just wanted it to be bigger and badder and better. But it didn't. It didn't turn out that way. It just turned out to be bigger, badder, and badder. Right? Yeah. There's no good part of the drug world. You know? Right,
and having, you know, maybe your peers at the time as well, maybe, you know, that's difficult, especially if everyone around you is doing a certain thing. You know, you want to keep up. And
yeah, like I lost my house, I lost my wife, I lost my kids. You know, like I have a lot of regrets, right? I have so many regrets, but I can only fix one thing at a time. Like I can't fix everything at once because I'll take a heart attack. So what I'm trying to do is fix the important things first. You know, with my own self, with my family. You know, I still haven't spoken out with my kids because I don't know what to say or do. Like I'm in a heart, like with that, it's heartbreaking for me because I don't know what to say or do.
Yeah.
You know? It's almost like I need to talk to somebody to get all these things off my chest that are bothering me. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if I can do it alone. Like I really, you know, nobody can do anything alone. You need help. Everybody needs help.
I completely agree. Yeah. Well, no, that's true. You know, and talking to people is definitely a really important step. I mean, therapy, even just like talking to trusted friends and family, just knowing that someone hears you, you know, and understands maybe a bit about what you're going through. I'm sure that makes such a difference.
Yeah, well, I didn't put my name out there to say I'm a drug addict for my own benefit. Like, you know, that's not something for an ego. That's kind of telling people that I was, you know, I wasn't a good guy for most of my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I did it to help others because I know if I say my story, then maybe other people will realize that it's easy to start it. You can try and try. As long as you're trying, one day you're going to succeed. I guarantee that. But it's the trying and trying and trying that's what made me give up so many times because I couldn't deal with the sickness. It was a sickness.
Yeah.
Right? And then when I went on methadone to get off of the pills and all the other drugs, that made me sicker. So then I had to come off of that, and then I did it all on my own.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that with methadone and stuff, for a lot of people, it's definitely been a really difficult kind of cycle. So it's amazing. It's so great that you were able to, you know, finally pull through, like break out of the cycle entirely. And honestly, like
it was hard, man. Like I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the hardest things I ever had to do, but it's one of the best things I ever did. You know what I mean? Like I can't take back anything I've ever done to people. I can't change time. I have a lot of regrets, yes, but I'm one of them guys that likes to move forward and not backwards.
Right.
You know, so you know I don't like to take one step back, half a step forward. I like going forward. Like I have a warrior blood in me. I don't like to give up. Right.
Well, and it's so great that, you know, you're not just, you know, finished at recovery. You know, you're not like, oh, well, that's good enough. I'm fine. You want to help others, you know, kind of see the light and get them out of, you know, the awful
they have to, because you know what's going to happen when carfentanil hits this place. It's going to be devastating. Yeah. People haven't seen what that drug can do. Like it's going to be an epidemic, and it already is a world epidemic. Right?
Yeah. I totally agree. No, my little hometown is definitely kind of being ravaged with that right now. So it's kind of nationwide at this point.
I know what's coming down the line because, like I say, I got pressured to put fentanyl in my stuff, and that's why I stopped, because I didn't want any bodies on my hands.
Well, see, and that's the difference, though, right? You have such a conscience still, even in the throes of addiction and in such a dark pit. You know, you kind of still saw, you know. You were still a good person in there. You were just having a hard time, man.
Yeah, like I was raised good. Like I have a good heart. I have my mom's heart. Like I can watch TV and cry. Like I'm so soft, but yet I'm so tough. You know what I mean? Like I fight two worlds at the same time. Right?
Well, a lot of people would argue that it takes a lot of strength and bravery to be able to show emotion like that.
Well, you know what? I'm not doing this for nothing, right? Like I want all this to be for something. I don't want it to be for nothing. If I can help one person, if I just see one view, one thing, I don't care. As long as if I can say that somebody got sober because of me, then I'm happy, right?
Yeah, well, and I've been watching your YouTube videos, and I see the number of subscribers you have. I mean, I'd wager to bet, there's probably a lot of people who have already taken a lot of what you said to heart. You have some great messages, and I think,
Well, I hope so, because they're all real. There's nothing not real about the life that I lived. Like it was real, and it was scary at times, right? Mm-hmm. It's not fun having things flying around your head that could put holes in your head. You know what I mean? Like
no kidding.
I just didn't. I was fed up. Like I just couldn't take it no more.
Well, I know you mentioned fentanyl, but Rebecca also has asked, what was the final straw where you knew things had to change?
When my mother wrote me that letter. My mother wrote me a letter, that just said how much damage I'm doing to the family, how much damage I'm doing to herself, to her, to myself, to everybody around me, to my children. And it was basically, I'll see you at your funeral. Mm-hmm. And that made me open up my eyes and say, oh my God, like my mother is giving me a death letter and I'm not even dead. That made me really, really think of stuff. Right. Because I knew she was right. I just needed to hear that. That was the thing I needed to hear. Right? Yeah. It took 28 years for me to hear the right thing. And that was the letter from my mother that I'm very grateful that she wrote, because I probably wouldn't be here right now if she never wrote that letter.
So you got a big thank you out to your mom then, I guess.
A big thank you to my mom. A big thank you to my family. Like I'm trying to fix what I broke. I might not be able to fix it right away, but I'm giving it my all. Like I'm not going to stop until I repair my family, because I miss my family. Like I miss everybody in my family. My cousins, my nieces, my nephews, my sisters. Like I love everybody so much. And now that I can feel my emotion, where I'm not numbed anymore, it hurts even more, the damage that I've done. Right?
Well, but then the successes must also feel so much better as well, though, right? Like all the good, at least there's, it's a little brighter now.
It's a little brighter, but I would rather have more fixing going on than like I have to fix what I broke, because it's a major part of my recovery is fixing what I broke, because I have to feel good with myself before I can be good to anybody else. Like if I'm no good with me, I'm no good to nobody.
For sure. Well, so what are some of the ways that you're trying to make reparations?
I'm putting myself out there just so people know that like it's possible. Like I'm making phone calls. I'm saying I'm sorry. I keep apologizing for things, even things I didn't do, things I might have done, things I don't remember doing.
Right.
Like I'm very apologetic to everything. Or
right.
Like I wish I could fix it, but I can't.
Right. So I mean, but at the least you're taking ownership for the things, and honestly, that's powerful.
Yeah, I have no choice, because it's my fault. It's nobody's fault but my own. Right. I just wish that I never got in as deep as I did, because I like I've done some bad stuff, and that weighs on my mind too. Right. But I will deal with that myself. Like some things can never come out of my head. And that's what's bothering me, right? Like some things I can never talk about.
No, for sure. I understand what right? Well, and so I mean, that's like, quite a story. And what resources sort of on that island? I know you were in bigger cities, but what resources on the island do you think there are?
Well, this place needs so much, right? There's nothing here. Right? There's nothing here on this island. On the north side, everything's in Sydney. And that's a 30-minute drive for people to go change their mind if they have a major issue. You know what I mean? So what I would like to do is I would like to actually, within the next 5 years or sooner, actually have a sober living home or a sober living place, like in reality, where people can go when they're ready to slip on their sobriety, where they need somebody to talk to, if they need a meal, if they need clothes, like just something to help people from this side of the island, because there's nothing here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And,
right, yeah.
You know, like one thing I really disagree with is the opiate recovery program. If you're not on methadone, they won't help you. And for me, I want structure. Like I would like structure, because I'm still an addict and I'm always going to be an addict, right? Like structure is good for an addict because it takes up your time, it motivates you, it gives you something to do. But I can't be a part of that because I'm not on methadone.
Right. And that's what a catch-22 that is, eh?
That's got to be fixed. That's got to be fixed because methadone works. I'm all for methadone. It works. It works good. And I'm not like it saves people's lives. But the people that want off of it, that can get off of it, can't get any help because you're not on methadone. It's only for people on methadone.
Right.
So that's got to be fixed. Because, you know, to me, that's a downfall. That's letting a lot of people down, right?
Right, yeah, it's just leaving everyone sort of halfway there and saying, okay, well, good luck.
Yeah, like, what do I do now? Now, because I won't take methadone, I can't get help?
For sure, yeah.
You know, that's one thing I really hate. I don't like that because then it sounds like a money grab to me, right? If I'm not giving you money, you're not going to help me, you know? I just had to put that out there because it annoyed me.
No, right? You make a great point. I myself have friends who have recovered and without methadone. I mean, I don't know that they would be here today. So honestly,
I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for methadone, because it took me off my addiction and put me on the path to sobriety, right? And then when I came off of methadone, I knew in my head that I had a battle here because now I have to withdraw from methadone.
Right.
So I withdrawed from methadone and opiates all together because my receptors were recovered from the methadone, right? So I had no choice but to double withdrawal again, right? I had no choice, and that's what sucked, was the double withdrawal for me. You know? Like it almost killed me. Like I had to get blood transfusion. I threw up so much blood from tearing a hole in my esophagus that they had to give me blood because I barely had enough blood to pump my heart. Right? Right.
And I mean, you yourself, you know, you described yourself as like a warrior, and a lot of people might not be so strong as you know, in that place in their life. And so then what do? Right? Then
and you know what?
Nothing.
And Amy Steffens there just made a good point. There's no rehab on this island anymore for opiates. That's pathetic.
She mentioned there are methadone programs which only dispense methadone, but there's no recovery house, like Top House for men, but you have to be clean when entering, and there's Hope House for women. And she doesn't know much about that.
But how can some people be clean when they're trying to enter a rehab? Like some people are at their breaking point at that when an addict makes that decision to get clean, he needs help that second.
Right.
That second, not 30, 40-minute drive because they're going to change their mind.
Right.
They need help that second. Right in that moment, they need help.
Yeah, at that point, I guess it's kind of urgent. Yeah. Well, I mean, you have a lot of support here. There's a lot of people rooting for you in the comments, telling you that. I got a
lot of good friends. Yeah, I'm lucky. Like I'm saying, I'm lucky to have the friends I have. I wouldn't be me if it wasn't for these people. You know, a lot of these people helped carry me out of my hole. Right? They motivated me. Right? They motivated me. They kept me grounded. They kept me humble. You know, people were telling me, like, I never knew you on drugs, BJ, and I only know the real you. And that helped me, too, because then not everybody thinks I was, you know, like a bad guy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think everybody in my recovery, I could not do it alone. And I still can't. That's why I have my YouTube channel and my Facebook support group, because I still need help. You know, I'm not done yet. I'm only 14 and a half, 15 months sober, right?
For sure. And but at the same time, for some people hearing that, I mean, that must seem like so long. And, you know, So honestly, kudos to you for all your success, and that should be a huge inspiration to a lot of people, you know, who maybe watch this and hear you say that and realize that they can do it too.
Well, I know they can because I did it. And you know what? I'm a stubborn guy. Like I know they can, right? I know they can. Here, come here, Charlie. Come here. Everybody want to see what I got? This is what I got to become sober. This is my baby boy, Charlie. He's bothering me. He wants me to pat him. But this dog here is helping me so much with my sobriety because I lost my other dog during my addiction, right? And I feel bad for her death because she was shot by the cops.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
so now, yeah, so I had to replace that void that I had because I had so much guilt over that, losing my dog.
I'm so sorry to hear that. That's a horrible loss.
Listen, I've lost hundreds of friends. You know, like I've been in a house one time and watched 7 people die in that one house from fentanyl. One house, 7 people dropped dead.
Yeah.
From car fentanyl, not the hospital grade fentanyl, the car fentanyl.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and you have a Shannon Lewis here saying, "Never say only. You're doing amazing."
Oh, she's awesome. She's one of my biggest supporters. Yeah. She's helped me so much.
Oh, you definitely have some fans of the puppy. Lots of comments about Charlie.
Oh, Charlie's good. Charlie, but he's spoiled to death. Trust me, that dog gets a lot of love from me. Right?
Well, but I mean, dogs are great for that, though. They're
a good part of recovery too. Why do you think when people get out of jail and addicts get out of rehab, they give them puppies? You know why? Because it opens up your heart. It gives you something to take care of. It shows you how to show emotion again, how to love again. Like, you know, this dog is actually teaching me how to feel again. Right? It's giving me responsibility again. Like, you know, I never had responsibility in years. Right?
Yeah, but I guess you learn pretty quick if the option is to go back to sleep or clean up a puddle.
You know what? I'm sick of sleeping. I'm sick of climbing out of holes, man. You know, I want a normal life. I want to go back to school, but I found out that's not possible because of my criminal history. I'd have to get a pardon, and that's not going to happen. So now I can't go back to school, which I think is kind of stupid. But like, what do I do now? Like I can't. How can I get a job and helping other people, like even as a peer counselor, when I don't have any papers?
Right.
You know, like I'll never get a job doing probably what I want to do now. Like I'm going to be stuck to the street on helping people, right? Which I don't mind, but I would like to have a place where I could say I'm certified and I could, you know, but I can't.
Right. Kind of be able to do a bit more and like, you know.
I would do a lot more.
Bigger scale.
Yeah, way bigger scale, right? Like I wish I could help thousands of people. I really do, but I know that's probably not possible. But my goal is there. Like my drive is there. My will and determination is just, it's there. I don't want nobody to suffer like I suffered because I suffered.
For sure.
You know?
Well, I mean, you have I think it's over 750 subscribers just now on YouTube. That's not the number of people that see your videos. I'm sure that number is way bigger. I'm sure you've helped thousands. So
there's thousands of people that watch it. There's thousands of people on my Facebook. There's thousands of people on my support group. I know people are watching and listening. But it's hard to get people to subscribe to listen to a drug addict because some people just don't care.
No,
right? Sure. Some people just, if they don't know, they don't care. You know, some people have a one-track mind. Like people change. You know, like I did a 180. I'm not even close to the same person I was a year and a half ago. Not even close.
Well, I mean, but that's so exciting, though, you know, to think that, like, even just now, all those people who've seen your message, I mean, so many of them might have taken something really useful from that, and that's pretty great. And you're only just starting, right? So, shout out to anyone who might have any information on how BJ could, get the ball rolling and kind of, do this on a bigger scale. Anyone know anything? Write in the comments. But
I've heard a lot of stuff about, you know, it takes 10 years after your last charge before you can get a pardon.
Yeah.
You know, my last charge was 3 years ago, so I got 7 years that I got to wait before I could do anything, right?
Shannon Lewis says, appeal it. I'm not sure who told you this. Call me when you get a chance. You can most definitely go back to school.
As a mature student, I'd have to pay for it myself. I wouldn't get no sponsorship. The government wouldn't fund me. I looked into it.
Amy Steffen says, work on getting a pardon. I know a pastor who was in Dorchester jail because he and his father got in major trouble. He worked towards a pardon. Don't ever say you can't do it because anything is possible. Work towards a pardon, then go from there. Many people who work in addictions have a horrible past with jail, and they have worked for it. So you have a lot of support. Hopefully some of this can maybe be useful to you because, yeah, you would be great at this. You would be so great as an addictions counselor or even like a youth outreach worker for sure, you know?
Something. Like I would even try to go to the schools, but they do a criminal background check. How am I going to get into a school with a bunch of assault charges and gun charges?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
You know?
But there are so many people who have you know, done, you know, been in jail and had crazy, you know, experiences with law enforcement and, you know, drug addiction and stuff like that, and they are able to. So there's got to be a way.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to give up. You know, there's a loophole. There has to be a loophole there somewhere, and I'll find it. You know what I mean? Like I want it bad enough that I'll find it.
For sure.
Right?
Well, you're a warrior, like you said, right? You're gonna find a way. And you clearly have a lot of support. Lisa Brown says, I think you would be surprised at the lives you're touching now and the people who are listening. Never give up with what you are trying to do. On that note, what message would you, if you were looking at you at 14 years old right now, what would you want to tell him? What would you want BJ Holland to know about?
I would educate him. I would aware him. I would educate him about what he's about to do. You know, the life changes that are going to change from that first puff, that first toke, that first rail, that first pill. The first everything is when your life is going to change. And it's not going to change for the good. It's going to change for the bad and get ready for 30 years of hell. Right? That's what I would have told myself.
If you could tell something to change your young mind at that time, what would it be? What do you know? What
I really awareness. Like back in my day, we never had awareness. We never had education that good on drugs. Like there was nobody knew anything about anything until it was too late. You know, until it was way too late.
Right.
And by that time, you know, like I'm already addicted. Right.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, it's too late by then.
And that's why I would like to get into the schools and educate and aware all these kids about how dangerous the drug world really is. You know, like it's a lot of money. I've made millions of dollars in 28 years, but I have nothing to show for it. Right? Nothing. And that's what drives me nuts. I could have came home a millionaire if I was smart, but I wasn't smart. Right.
I
wasn't smart at all. You know, I had a crew of guys that I clothed, that I fed, that I put a roof over their heads. It cost me almost $15,000 a day just for the people I had around me. You know, because I had to fend their drug habits. I had to, you know, feed them, clothe them. You know, it's expensive to have a big crew around you. Right. But, you know, it is what it is. Like, I can only go forward now. I can't go back. Right? I don't think I'm made for a city life anymore because I know if I go back to a big city, I will want to get back into that hustle and grind. Because, you know.
Well, the temptation's there, yeah.
It's all I know. It's all I know. Right? That's why I came home. Right? Because this is my place where I was born and raised. I have good memories here. Like, I look at things and I remember my childhood. Like, I remember the good times. Right?
Right. No, exactly. And a big part of the education on addiction, obviously, and like you had mentioned, was the resources on the island and how lacking the island is when it comes to any sort of resources for healthcare in general, let alone addiction and mental health awareness.
Cape Breton is the land that time forgot. Our government does nothing for us here. You know, there's nothing here.
Right.
There's nothing. And that's why everybody is so bad, because nobody can get help. You know, you can't get help here. Like, you know, to have no place for opiate addiction anymore. Like look for a detox. How retarded is that? A detox should be for alcohol and drugs.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, exactly.
That's my opinion. Because if you have nowhere to go, I can't go get help now because I'm an opiate user, and you don't have an opiate detox. So I have to detox at home or in a hospital, and then get sent home, and then almost die at your house.
Right.
Because it's a long process.
Well, and it's definitely dangerous to try to detox on your own. I know.
I did it 5 times, and you know what? There was one time I had to get a nurse that I knew to come to my house and give me an IV because I was ready to die. Like, I was so dehydrated, I couldn't move, I couldn't talk. This woman had to bring me in an IV just to try to bring me back to life because I was ready to die.
Yeah, and yet they expect everyone to just sort of take care of it themselves.
Yeah, and you know what? That's only going to make this place worse. This place is not going to get any better. And when shit hit, or when stuff hits the fan here,
yeah,
there's not going to be any resources here. And everybody is going to be in that much trouble trying to get out of the holes that they're in because there's no resources. The thing is resources. And there's zero here. Right? And the programs that are here aren't ran very good.
And so, I mean, honestly, maybe a good starting point is to let people like you tell your story and, talk to kids kind of before they get a chance. To start.
You have to talk to the kids young now. You can't be afraid to talk to your kids about drugs because they're doing it so much. Like, okay, I was 12, 11, 12 when I had my first puff of hash. I think they're doing it earlier now. Kids are being bullied a lot worse now. Kids are having sex a lot quicker now. Kids are doing drugs a lot quicker now. Right? You have to educate your kids. You can't be scared to talk about drugs to your kids.
And right? Stefan says, I tell my kids my battles with addiction and I hold nothing back. I think it's important for us to be honest with children about drugs and addiction and not try to hide it.
Yeah, but she's a good mother. She's doing the right thing.
Right.
You have to educate your kids. You have to let them know the positives and negatives of every situation. Like, this can happen to you if you do this, and this can happen to you if you do this. You can't be scared to tell your kid, you touch drugs, you're going to die. The average life expectancy of a full-time hardcore drug user is between 10 and 15 years. That's the average. So, if you're 20, you could be dead by your 35, Mm-hmm. And that's true. Like, opiates and cocaine, they all cause kidney failure, heart failure. I just got lucky. Like, I was sniffing almost an ounce of coke a day.
Yeah.
And there was times where I thought my heart was coming out of my chest. And then I'd pop a few oxys to calm it down. I was mixing uppers and downers, and I was all over the place.
Which is so dangerous for sure. I mean, it's amazing and so great that you're still here today to be able to talk to us about all this,
I still can't believe that I'm here, I just can't believe it. Like, I've seen people do less than I've done and died. Mm-hmm. Like, I've hit probably 500 people with Narcan. And then the naloxone came out. I've used that about 30, 40 times up there.
Yeah.
Overdosing is the drugs are getting so dirty nowadays. Like, back in the day when I was a drug dealer, I never put stuff in my stuff because I didn't know what people were allergic to. I don't know, I never ever wanted to hurt anybody. And now they're cutting drugs with major tranquilizers that would kill an elephant.
Uh-huh.
And how is a human supposed to deal with that, Oh, let's just mix up another batch. Who cares about them 30 people that just died? We'll fix it. Nah, man, that doesn't work like that in my world.
It's people with less empathy than you. People with less empathy than you.
Yeah. Like, I was known as a good drug dealer. I'd hate to say that, but people always said when they came to me, they never had to worry about dying.
For sure.
Right? And that's nothing to be bragging about because I ruined people's lives. I know I did. But I'm just saying, I always had a conscience. Always had a conscience. Right?
Shannon Lewis says, I want you to know whatever school you want to go to for addictions, you can write a letter to them. They make the decision to accept you and send the letter to get you your discharge faster. Please don't let whomever said this to you deter you from your dreams.
Oh no, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. That's only a few people I got on the phone with, and they were asking about criminal background checks and pardons, and I didn't want to explain my life to a stranger about,
For sure.
Just at that point on the phone, like I didn't want to tell a stranger,
Yeah, you can't even look them in the eye, and then they're hearing your life story. Yeah.
Yeah, and here I am doing this interview. Right.
Well, is there anything that you wanted to is there anything that maybe you want to make sure to let people know? Anything you wanted to touch on that?
Well, if no matter who you were, where you were, what you did, what you done, what you do, if you need help, you can call me anytime. I'll be there for anybody. I message back everybody that messages me. I'm trying to be, I don't know, I want to make sober cool again. You know what I mean? Sober almost has to be cool again.
I know what you mean.
Because, I don't want to look like a zombie anymore, man. I want to look like a human being.
Right.
Right? I want to look like I have life in me. I want to look like I have drive, determination, and will. I don't want to look like,
Yeah. And that's...
I don't know. It's a hard life to live, and I don't think anybody wants to live it. Nobody that is a drug addict wants to be a drug addict. I know that for a fact. It's just you get caught there, right? Trust me, every drug addict wants to get away from what they're doing. I know they do. And that's why I feel for everybody. You know what I mean? It's hard, man. You need support, and around here, people don't have it. They just don't have it.
Okay, well, I mean, I think that this was all great and probably hugely useful. That was, I think a lot of comments,
I'm not a professional. Don't get me. I'm not a professional, but I have more experience than a professor at a college that reads out of a book. I got almost 30 years experience in the drug world.
Exactly.
On the street.
Yeah. Well, and it's all well and good to read from a book, but there's life experience. That's its own thing.
Yeah, how can I not be helpful to people? I don't know how I can't be. So I know I am, right? I know what I'm doing is helpful because I see it. People message me all the time. People's parents message me. People tell me that they're sober and they're proud of me. And people say, you know what, I want to get clean. What do I do? Can you help me? Interventions. People want me to do interventions, but I don't want to get involved in, I want to go about everything the right way, right? So I'm still trying to educate myself on helping how I can help people properly, right? Because I don't want any of my words to be triggers. I don't want any of the things I say or do to be triggers.
Right. Lewis says that's why your Facebook page is awesome because everyone supports each other no matter what the circumstances.
Well, that's why I made it. And you know what? That's why I have her there because she's a smart woman. And you know what? It's for addicts. It's for non-addicts. You don't have to be an addict to be on my thing. You might have some good advice that you could give somebody and help save their life. I just want to help, and I hope my things are working. I put these things in place to try to help me and other people, and I just hope it's working. I don't care if they subscribe, I don't care if they join, but I would love if they would subscribe, and I would love if they would join because it can help somebody. It's not just about me helping people; it's about everybody helping everybody.
Right.
That's what it has to be. People have to help each other, man. I see people walk by people and don't even say hi anymore. I don't know what's happened with human nature. People have to start caring about people again.
I totally agree. Nancy Penny McKinnon says, BJ, I'm so proud of you. I'm sure you're helping some people. We need more people like you.
Yeah, well, we need more people like her. We need more people that help support people like me. I can't do this alone, and I never once said I could. That's why I've begged for help, right? And that's the one thing about being so strong sometimes is nobody ever asks you if you're okay, right? I'm helping everybody else sometimes, and sometimes I'm the one that's hurting the most, right?
Right. Well, and this sounds like a really great beginning for you, This sounds like the start of something that could actually be so hugely helpful, not just for you, but for all the people that hear you and hear your message. Can you actually
plug your Facebook page so that people can find you there, and your YouTube?
Well, it's Sober Life, Live Life on Facebook.
Okay.
You can join, and I'll let you in. I let everybody in that wants to come in, because I would never tell anybody that they can't get help. This place is helpful. I see it. I see it work. And my YouTube channel is the same thing. It's Sober Life, Live Life on YouTube.
Okay.
If you want to subscribe. If you don't. If you want to watch. If you want to show somebody a video, show them a video. It could save their life, because you know what? It saved mine.
Exactly.
So,
well, then I recommend everyone go on over and find BJ Holland on YouTube and Facebook, Sober Life, Live Life. Yeah, I mean, I'm just filling in. I'm just that guy that has a loud baby and a boyfriend cooking pork chops in the background. But I think I can speak for Rebecca.
I got a dog look at my toes.
I think I can speak for everyone when I say that this was amazing. It was honestly, it really was an honor to speak with you, and I genuinely hope that you come back and talk to us again.
Well, I really appreciate you guys helping me get the word out there. And you know what? I hope everybody has a great sober day. And you know what? Don't stop giving up, because once you stop giving up, that's it. You try again, because I guarantee you will succeed. Guarantee you. And if you want to withdraw and you have nobody around, you call me and I'll come sit by your side, and I'll sit there while you're sick. I'll even dump out your puke bucket.
See? See, world? It's possible.
Yeah, it's very possible. It's very possible. You just have to want it. That's it. You have to want it. If you don't want it, you're not going to get it.
Right. Right on, BJ. This was amazing. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Well, thank you guys too. I appreciate it. And Rebecca, hi to you too. And you guys are great. I love what you guys do. I support you guys, and thank you for supporting me.
I'm a fan of you. I support what you do. I'll be sharing your videos often on my personal Facebook as well. All right. Well, guess we'll let you get back to Charlie, and I'll get back to my baby and my pork chop. But have a great day, DJ.
Yeah, well, I hope everybody has a good night, guys, and I love you all, and everybody take care. And thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.
Thanks, BJ.